I feel like I'm doing some sort of intervention for a drug addict that hasn't yet quite reached rock bottom when it comes to the DC universe and in general. It is a thoroughly pointless affair, and in all due reality, I should be making a video today about Sony's capitulation rather than this. But you all know how much I hate talking about popular things, and I am saving that topic for the ArchCast. But it's also, okay, I've been watching a bunch of old media recently, superhero stuff in particular, because I was watching Batman the Animated Series, and this was because I had started watching X-Men 97, and I thought to myself, this is pretty okay, actually. How did the old show hold up? So I looked back at that, found a good 1080p upscaled version, and watched it and thought, yeah, this is pretty good. And so I figured, how was actually other superhero media at the time? And Batman the Animated Series, of course, is an absolute high watermark. And then I got to episode 3, and I went down a bit of a rabbit hole there with Nora Freeze, which I'll be making a video about eventually, but the point I'm so laboriously dragging myself towards here is that superhero media was very, 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 very good back in the day. In the case of Superman as well, we had the old Lois and Clark. That's from 1993, I believe. A live-action Superman show, probably one of, if not the best live-action Superman shows that still hold up to this day, although it is definitely showing its age a little bit, particularly in its representation of Superman and suit powers, and it scaled back in the action quite a bit because, well, they just didn't know how to shoot it effectively back then. But that is still a good show, and then, of course, the new Superman, which is supposed to be the topic of conversation today. This image dropped just yesterday. You've got what I can only really describe as an AI god, what the hell is going on there background. I've seen people speculate that it might be Brainiac or something, which I can see it, I suppose, but the very fact that I can't actually tell immediately upon looking at it means it's a failure in and of itself. And then you've got Superman played by that new guy who isn't Henry Cavill, and that's about all I know about him, just kind of sitting there like... He doesn't look determined. He doesn't look like, oh my god, Gotham's under attack, or Metropolis, or whatever. I need to get out there. He looks like he's like, oh, another 9-to-5 job. I just gotta pull on my boots, get out the door, and do my job. That's what he looks like. And hey, at least I like the little curly thing. That's nice. I don't hate the suit. It's a little bit... Okay, I do hate the suit. I don't mind the suit's design. It's got that new style S, but yeah, such is life. But it's dirty. It's filthy, and I get it. I'm presuming what the director here is trying to do is to present it with realistic Batman, gritty Batman. He's been out in the streets all day fighting crime, and here comes Brainiac, and he's tired and exhausted, but he still puts on his boots to go out there and fight for you. Sure, but he just looks like a grimy, dirty man at this point. That's the problem. He just looks like a grimy, dirty, tired man who's pulling on his boots like, oh god, gotta go back out there. Here, look at this fan version of it, where somebody's like, okay, what about I brighten it up, it's a happy day, he's in his actual blue uniform, old school S, looks like a traditional Superman, he's smiling, he's getting ready for the day. This is the hero I would like to see, because at the end of the day, I thoroughly maintain still that we are not suffering from superhero fatigue necessarily. We are suffering from the same goddamn superhero fatigue. Every single solitary one of these little mofos needs to be some mopey piece of shit these days. Here, perfect example of this. This is from the Batman movie, Batman vs Superman, I think that's wrong. There's a scene in there where Henry Cavill Superman is flirting with Lois. Now, they're getting into the bathtub, and this is supposed to be very playful, very giggly, very, very romantic, right? They're two lovers getting together for an opportune occasion for coitus, right? It's supposed to be a ha-ha, laughy, bright scene, and it's so goddamn dark. It's so goddamn cold. It's so grey. Like, I mean, hell, I can barely see it here on YouTube. It's probably just going to look like a black block surrounded by a bigger black block. It's like, God, the candles aren't lit, there's nothing romantic, there's burnt little wicks there, haphazardly strewn about. The bathtub itself is some old, giant, cold-looking thing. Like, it's got a massive heater apparatus there. Like, the walls are grey, the floor is black. Like, God, it looks like a scene in which you'd suspect this to either be a violent rape or an impending double suicide. I get cold just fucking looking at this. And the worst part is, I guarantee you, this was shot in good lighting. There were probably giant light throwers just booming down upon them. They were probably feeling warm from the sheer light of everything. The light casters, the cameras, the people standing around, etc. It was probably shot bright as shit. And then in editing they were like, yeah, but I'm trying to make a dark and gritty superhero who considers his job a 9 to 5. Make all of it grey and dark and cold and depressing. But sir, it's supposed to be a love scene. I don't care. This is how James Gunn makes love. and that's exactly what this is, right? He's dirty, he's tired, but he's still getting out there. Like, that's the nobility of it. That's the nobility they're going for. Even when he's tired, even when he's beaten down, he still pulls on his boot to go defend the city. I get it, but can't we have this? Can we not have this? Can we not have this for once? Okay, one of the standout things in Batman the Animated Series is the police don't fight Batman. The police do not resist Batman. The police do not randomly shoot at Batman. There's like one scene in like episode 2 or something where the police are aggressive towards Batman because they don't know him yet. And so Bullock, which is like the bad cop, is like, I'm going to take this Batman freak down. But then he proves again and again that he's an asset, and the police basically never go after him ever again. He's got an open relationship with the police department. He pops by Commissioner Gordon's office just on the random. He has a cup of coffee with him at the end of every year. He hand delivers crooks to the police department. He walks into Gotham and the guards are like, Batman, you know, and that's what I want. Everyone around Batman recognizes Batman as a mumping hero. They have no reason to go after him. They have no reason to try and arrest him or abuse him or do anything bad towards him. He just wants fucking Batman. He helps you catch villains. So obviously you're going to let him. Obviously you're going to help him. And there's like even the justice system at large works around Batman, where even though he doesn't arrest people legally, the justice system kind of just, does a blind eye to that and goes like, okay, technically there's some errors here, but we're just going to sweep that under the rug because Batman's a good boy. That's what I want from this. I want a hopeful world in which people see the flying man in the sky fighting crime, and instead of going, boo, Superman, go, hey, thank you for saving my cat. That's what I want. I want Superman's initial scenes to be him stopping bank robbers, saving pets, basic bitch shit. Establish him as the hero first. When he walks an old woman across the street or intervenes in a traffic accident, minor shit like that. Display Superman as doing good stuff for the community and the community loving him for it. I want established Superman. I don't want yet another legacy story. I don't want another young Superman. I want established good guy Superman that does good guy things. And then at the end, you toss in the supervillain who does something ridiculous. Like he finally discovers kryptonite or something, or builds giant robots to blow up the city, something. And then you can have Superman being defeated, being pushed to the brink, and rallying finally to defeat the enemy. The good old fashion formula. I want my superheroes to be goddamn heroes. I know. Everyone wants the grumpy superhero. But we've done this now. We've done this so many times. So goddamn many. I mean, The Grumpy Superman thing isn't even a last year thing, or the year before thing. It's like a 2010 thing. It's a 2005 or 6 thing. This is ancient. It's been done for a decade now. You know what hasn't been done for 2 decades? An actual goddamn superhero. And I know I am whining to deaf ears here. I know the DC universe is set in its ways. I know that it will refuse to revitalize itself until it is practically dead. And there is every opportunity to do so right now. Marvel is dying. Its absolute iron grip over the entertainment industry has faded. You have a whole roster of good heroes to do, and you're just gonna refuse, aren't you? You are just going to refuse. And that's probably just going to be how it's going to be. Simple as. In all due likelihood, the only way we're actually going to get the superhero again is probably going to be in some knockoff TV show. You know, somebody decides to do something, and they're like, hey, can I have the license for this? And they go like, it's basically dead anyways. Here, have the Superman license. What are you going to do with it? Actually, you know, we're not going to even bother asking. Just go away, do your thing with it. Maybe you'll earn us a couple of bucks. And somebody just goes like, I'm just going to make Superman. I swear to God, in 20, 30 years from now, Henry Cavill, after having had massive success with the Amazon 40K show and bringing it back from the brink, I hope, and yet at the same time feel a slight sense of despair at, decides to purchase the Superman license and just actually mix Superman the way he would have wanted to play Superman as the hero. And people look at it and go, oh my God, a superhero? That's so niche and rare these days. History is just a really long cyclical wheel, isn't it? Let me know what you think, incidentally. Maybe I'm the only one here who would just like Brightman back. Maybe everyone is actually like, you could do Dark Superman, but do something else. Goddamn, do it a Homelander TV show. I'd love to actually see Homelander be the villain instead of an emasculated pussy, but hey. Superman should just be Superman. That's what I'm saying. And if you agree, do let me know. If you want more mopey Superman, we know that as well. Till next time, I've been Arch. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope to see you all again soon. Have a good day.